Prettiest tulips I've seen.
That was one that I worked on.
They were there when I went there 10 years ago. I probably would have did the most with separation stones.
Will you ever do that?
I will. You know what the man you need is the strawberry patch I have. And that's
Yeah.
like cold
I told if you chose to send.
I know, I love it. I love it.
Well, you know, I know.
Plant it like
We had a really long this year, and I was trying to make sure
I said, yes, sir.
they haven't gone away. So I have a plant that's been over being here and this or that, and actually, and I'd like to buy it on the
I bought some thornless blackberries versus blackberries, and they only had like 3 blackberries. This year there's 3 blackberries, so whatever it's doing it right.
It's so
Well, you know what? I got my son to set that up for me because it's really the same. And it was like when they built that house, they must have put the gravel for the.
No, I had
It's
I
like
bought
thousands of
I took
dollars.
it.
I got
We
this
found a
book
guy
by
down in Mount Zion.
lasagna garden. They just jack for the top, and that must be good.
It has emergency lights, blinkers,
Yeah, it's doing pretty good. I know.
Or tutus.
Oh, no.
We've been trying to read our signs around. But I was like
What is that?
so we got it.
Well, you can't have a vehicle
We've
out
been
on the
trying
street
to do
without
some different
insurance.
things in there. If you ever do something, we find it not wrong.
Yeah, you can't.
Not
We have an
wrong.
ordinance that's
Boulder?
we've got an ordinance that says you drive a car.
Yeah.
I think they had a blast.
I know, but I don't know what it is.
Oh my God.
So we're having
I
a.
bet you there's somebody right you.
You wouldn't believe how much gravel
No, please do.
Well, I mean, me and the kids, and we dug and dug and dug and dug them out, but I gave up after a while. It must have something.
Well, it helps it drain. That's what it is. It helps it drain. Because the clay keeps on it. That's why I always put the rocks on my
I didn't even think about that, but that's probably what it is.
I just saw those and I'm like, I said, next time I see you, I gotta say something about those.
I know, and that's what I do every year. The last 2 years.
It's on the State Street down, it's that one house, and it's about everything, and they have those orange filters.
And if we get it out, we get motion.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Do we have
That is,
That really, yes.
someone take that
I
out
don't
there?
know if either one of them's still
I will.
Gary Thomas is,
Once we get into session, I'll tell you a
it's
couple.
wife's tennis.
I mean, wait with there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't we have to?
Well, they planted those
Devices.
trees, is what she told us.
Oh, good. Wow, they did a lot. Because it hasn't been that
We're public meeting.
I know it.
Well, basically, no
Oh,
action.
wow.
When we get to it, we'll say no action. Because number 7, we're not going to take action on these.
That'd be nice. Cherries are really good for inflammation.
So if you click through this,
Really?
yeah,
I didn't know that.
Well, considering where
and then I
you're,
can text, and then I can text Michael and say a video, okay.
considering where you're sitting, y'all, 3, we gotta get done.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Tom,
The whole time.
I'm not bringing you anything else. With that, I'll call this special call meeting to order so that we can get Tom in his place. If you would stand.
The water is the church.
Education first, then play. Our dear Heavenly Father, we just thank you for this opportunity to gather to do the business of this town. We just ask it that you give us the guidance that we need to make the appropriate decisions. Be with those who it is our duty to pray for, and just ask these blessings first in Christ's name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You have a motion to approve the published agenda.
Motion to approve the agenda.
Our second.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All right. It is at this time new business, item number 1. We will conduct a public hearing on a proposed development code for the city of Temple. Is there anyone here who would like to speak for or against the development code? Seeing none, we'll consider the public hearing closed. Go to item 2. Adopt an ordinance to provide for the enhancement of a development code for the city of Temple. With this said development code to be effective as of date of said adoption. Do we have any comments or questions about this, or?
We have, all of you have a copy of the development code. We've been working on it for the planning commission for 10 months. We've had it out on display here, so it's been well publicized.
All right. Do I hear a motion to adopt?
I will offer a motion to adopt the Temple Development Code.
Do I hear?
I second.
All in, do I have any discussion? All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed by same. All right, motion carries, and I'm voting as well. I can vote as well. All right, item 3, conduct a public hearing on a proposed amendment for the zoning ordinance for the city of Temple in order to establish certain developmental standards for the construction of new single-family residential housing. So we are in now public hearing. Is anyone here who wants to speak in favor or against the design standards for single family? If none, the public hearing will close. We'll go to item 4. Adopt an ordinance to provide for the enactment of an amendment to the zoning ordinance for the city of Temple in order to establish certain development standards for the construction of a new single-family residential housing, with said amendment to be effective as of the date of said adoption. This is standards that we have been working on. We've had the public hearings on those. Do I hear a motion?
I make a motion we adopt those, please, sir.
All right. Do I hear a second?
No second.
All right. Any discussion?
I've got discussion.
Okay.
Item number 14 there on the standards, there's a little bit of rewording on that. Originally, we talked about doing 10-foot by 10-foot patio or a deck at the rear exterior door. And then the rewording is calling for a 10 by 10 at each exterior door. I'm not opposed to doing that at the front and at the rear. Sometimes you might have a side door garage coming off of a garage, and you've already got concrete there, so you wouldn't necessarily need 100 square feet of concrete there.
So do we just make a motion to change that, or will we have to send it back, Mr. Pilgrim?
I think y'all could just note that for the minutes, and that we'll conduct legal review on that number, and we just adopt it subject to legal review of that. The idea that would be changed to reflect just a front-facing and rear-facing exit rather than every single door that comes out of the house.
How about the wording on the 10 feet by 10 feet. What if somebody wanted to do a different configuration, like 8 feet by 12 feet or 8 feet by 14 feet? Should we just word it as 100 square feet, or?
I guess that depends on what y'all want to do, just as a matter of policy.
I thought we had it all worked out, and then the wording changed.
I mean, I think the discussion about that was that you don't want to, if you want to require 100 square feet, you don't want to have somebody that does a, as you put it, 2 by 50 there. But I mean, I think maybe a way to kind of bracket what you do between certain lengths and widths.
Well, is this something that if we adopt it this way though, that if somebody wanted a variance for us to change it, they would bring it back and ask us to change it like they do other things when they need variances once we adopt this? Is it something that?
Or is it?
Is that something that can be done administratively though? By Mr. Osborne or by George? As long as we get the 100 square feet.
I don't think so. I think you probably want it built into your ordinance so that you're not having to come back for a variance every time somebody does that. If we think 10 by 10 is not going to be, we don't want that to be uniform.
I could see where you would have a rectangle rather than a square, especially on the front.
There's some of your front doors, you know, you may have 100 square feet of concrete, but sometimes like your entranceways may be only 4 feet deep or 6 feet deep. So they may not want to do a 10 by 10 and then cover that, you know, cover on the front.
So do you think the 100 square footage is right and just the dimensions need to change, or does it need to be a smaller square footage?
100 square feet is not that much.
Yeah.
Can we adopt it like it is and just maybe do an amendment to it?
Right, I think you would just adopt it subject to legal review with the understanding that we would change the square footages to be 100 square feet, but to have it so that different lengths and widths are allowed. And that would be a minor change.
Okay, so we can do that and just, this would all be in place then. The moratorium will automatically lift tomorrow. Okay.
All right, so that means that the motion has to change, correct?
Right, the motion would be to adopt it, but with the revision that the 10 feet by 10 feet requirement would be removed, but the 100 square feet requirement would stay there within certain, acceptable lengths and widths.
The front and the rear entrance.
Right.
That's front and rear entrance.
Right.
Who made that?
Yeah.
You did that? Are you good with that?
Yeah, so
that
we're
word?
gonna take out each and just put front and back door. And then we're gonna change the 10 by 10, take it out and just put a minimum, must be a minimum of 100 square footage. Is that correct? Is that what the ordinance would say then? On number 14,
But
those revisions?
how do we keep them from doing the 2 foot and the 50 foot?
Well,
That was the.
I think you would have, what you would say is something like the minimum depth would be, 5 feet, if that's what you wanted to say. And the minimum, you could do minimum and maximum lengths and depths there.
But just about a minimum depth would take care of it, right? Because I mean, if you did a 5 foot and you want to go 100 feet each way, that would be okay. That would be a full.
If we just fix one dimension, then we
Yeah.
can do it that way.
All right.
So are we revising that dimension then to say a minimum of 100 square foot with a 5 foot
Width.
width? Is that what we're
With a
saying?
5 foot minimum.
5 foot width? Okay, so let's go back. I would like to adopt this ordinance with the exception of number 14 for legal review, taking out each and making that front and back door, and taking out 10 foot by 10 foot as a minimum for a landing, making it a minimum of 100 square foot with a minimum of a 5 foot width. Is that what I need to say, Kevin?
That's it.
That sounds
That's
like
perfect.
we'll discuss it.
Do we have a second on that?
I'll second.
All right, we got a second on that. Any other discussion? All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed by the same? Okay, that was, okay, then we go to, number 5, authorize the mayor to sign an expedited enforcement compliance order with the Georgia Department of Natural Resources, Environmental Protection Division to settle 2 2018 City of Temple violation of state water quality rules, including the required payment of $2,650 settlement.
I make a motion that we authorize that to be done.
All right, do I hear a second?
Second.
Do I have any discussion?
Just one comment, and I've provided you with background information I'm sure you looked at, but on the letter we got from EPD, the question had been raised with staff the other day with, that had EPD know about the violations, and the director's letter says that these had been reported to the city, to EPD, so we did that self-reporting after it happened, and I've given you an explanation. One was a lightning strike and a thunderstorm, and the other basically because of all the rain we had, it just created a change in the acidity, and that's what we, and there's no distinction in terms of how much one violation is the other, it's just combined, it's 26 feet.
Any other discussion? All in favor of approving this authorization, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, by the same token. Number 6, authorize the city administrator to submit the City of Temple's updated stormwater management plan, the STMP, to the Georgia Department of Natural Resources, Environmental Protection Division, not later than April the 16th. That, I think the explanation is there. That's what we've been talking about with the extension.
Just we had presented to you about a month ago a copy of our former stormwater management program outline, and of course we were behind on getting this new one done, but they gave us an extension to the 16th, and so if you act on this tonight, we'll get this filed before the 16th, and we've given you a copy of the new 5-year plan. It took several hours of George and myself working with Howard Ray. That wasn't that big a task. But when you look at what the city's got to do over the next 5 years, there's a lot of work that's got to be done on that. But we don't have any choice with EPD other than to do it. So if you approve that as your plan, then we will adhere to that timeline, and we'll notify EPD that here's the new plan, and then we'll be a good checklist.
Do I have a motion to authorize?
So I just have one
Go
question.
ahead,
I'm sorry. Before I make the motion to authorize, is this is you and George and Howard are in agreement that this is something that we can do and needs to be done? I mean, I know we've got to do it, but you are in agreement that this is exactly what the plan we need to do?
We're comfortable, and George is here, he can speak for himself, but I think we're comfortable in terms of what we received from EPD in terms of the requirements that we had, that what we're talking about doing will meet those requirements. And how much we can do in-house and how much we may have to contract out, that will be determined as we go through the process. It's a 5-year program.
Okay. Then I make a motion, we authorize the city administrator to submit the City of Temple's updated stormwater management plan to the Georgia Department of Natural Resources, EPD, no later than April 16th deadline.
Do you hear a second?
Second.
Got a second? Any discussion?
I'm assuming this is going to be an increase in the budget, increase in personnel over the next 5 years, am I right?
It will, I'm sure that there will be times that we will probably be asking for some budget increase, but it is over a 5-year period. And some of it we probably will have to contract out. And whether or not, per se, I don't think it would cause us to increase staff. That and some other things might result in staff increase with a new person having certain responsibility.
Any other questions or comments? All right, all in favor of this authorization, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the same. All right. And number 7, there will be no action on that. And then the executive session, there is no need for an executive session. So that means that we're ready for closing comments. Mr. Gopal.
Nothing to comment.
Howard? With that being it, do I hear a motion for us to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second? Any discussion? All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed by the same token. Ridiculous.